Accidentally went. It's time for Gardening Inside Out, a live show offering you plant advice for any space in your life. Introducing your perennial hosts, David Bates and Josh Carey.
Hey, and welcome in, everybody. It's time for Gardening Inside Out. That was my attempt at singing for Caroline. She wanted me to sing.
It was great. It was very calming.
Don't sing, Daddy. Don't sing. Oh, my goodness. It is time. It's Saturday morning. It's 0800 here in Nashville, Tennessee, which means it is time once again for Gardening Inside Out. Coming to you alive here from Bates Nursery and Garden Center. It is a hive of activity at the nursery today. Oh, my goodness. It looks like stuff has been moved out of it and put into places. Saw some massive magnolias out there. What a
Trucks
day.
have been unloaded.
Oh, my gosh. Those magnolias got to be 20 foot long sitting on top of it, 20
It
foot
would
tall.
appear that
Mhm.
springtime is here.
Uh-huh.
I'll put
It's a
some weather
lie.
out there that won't refute that, but
Mhm.
at the same time, a cautionary statement is always in order because, well, we get the weather we get.
There's a lie.
And when we get that weather, we just deal with it to the very best of our ability.
Mhm.
And there we go. So
Uh-huh.
let's go with that weather.
Go with
Today.
that weather, David.
This is Saturday, the 28th, the very last day of February in 2026. 74 degrees and mostly sunny. It's what you call a red letter day. And we will take it, and we expect that there will be a lot of interest today because these are perfect weather conditions.
Huh.
Cannot be better. Tomorrow, Sunday, March 1st. By the way, that's our last Sunday to be closed for the spring season. So just FYI on that, beginning next Sunday on the 8th, we will be open Sunday afternoons, and we'll do the more traditional closing at 4 o'clock every day. So be mindful of that. Mostly cloudy, 64, 43, so a little cooler, but still a really nice day. On Monday, 62, 54, and showers in the morning. So, say if you're doing some outdoor activity like pouring concrete,
Don't
it
do
might not be enough to
Yeah.
interfere with it, but it's as they say, it's a game time call. So, and if you've got a morning project going on Monday, you could have some showers to contend with. Tuesday, the warm up returns 72, 58, mostly cloudy, but otherwise pretty spectacular early March day, as is Wednesday, 74, 59. Thursday, more of those morning showers that are more of a minor nuisance. 76, 61, and next Friday, 78, 62. That's what you call a red letter forecast. It just really can't be much better than that for this time of year. We're going to look at the radar. Boy, there's nothing around us. There's some stuff way back out there near Kansas City. We're just not seeing anything that's going to have any effect on us whatsoever in the foreseeable future. So let's move on to the 6 to 10 day precip outlook. And this would indicate this is valid through the 5th through the 9th. So this will go from Thursday on through the early part of the following week. We're expecting above average rainfall, and I cannot define exactly what that is.
Mhm.
but it's going to be, there'll be more opportunities for precipitation than not. We're going to look at the Bates Nursery weather station here. It's 45 degrees here at Bates Nursery in the green room. We've had 97 hundredths of an inch of rain this week. And we've also this week, which is interesting, the range of temperature extremes from about 16 degrees at the outset of the week. We got up to 73 yesterday, and we'll be back in that range again today. So, pretty
winter.
diverse temperatures to choose from, and also not atypical for springtime, because as we move into spring, we get all of the stuff that goes with it, and weather and the variability thereof is a big part of it.
Pollen.
So, yes, and it's, right now it all looks good, but you can say with near certainty, and I mean that's 99.9%.
99.7.
I'm going to say 9.
Okay.
And that, we're going to still have some cold weather, and that it's not going to be maybe 16 degrees again. We hope it will not be that again, but having some frost and freezes is pretty much guaranteed. So as we move through the next week, where it looks like spring is on and we're going to treat it as such, we also have to be mindful of the fact that it can and almost certainly will give us some changes in the weather that will make us have to do things to deal with it. So, and there's nobody better to deal with those things than Caroline Gant. And today, sitting in for Austin Lowen, the general manager himself, Adam Chapman. Good morning, guys.
Got to come in for the sales manager. You got to fill in for him.
Yep. Well, it's first Saturday on the job.
Yeah.
He had to take a little vacay to the mountains,
Adam's own. So,
There we go.
anyway,
I forgot about that.
Me too.
This is the time of the year when we got to get those things out of the way, because it's game time here in the nursery business. And as we roll into the time right now, along with the rolling in of all the trucks of trees and shrubs and all those things, because that's what people want this time of year. Particularly, I don't think it's even speculation, there will be a large amount of interest in trees. Am I
Sure
right?
will. Yeah, lots of people lost trees recently, or partial losses, you could say.
Yes.
Which is almost just a whole
It's
lot.
probably they've probably got 3 of them, and one in the middle broke in half.
Yeah. Well, good thing that we got a whole truckload of trees this week, and that was just the first one. So
What's the magnolia that's down there on the end? They're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so that
folks.
came in yesterday. That was on Transplant Nursery.
Okay.
It was mostly shrubs, but we had those magnolias on there, and they're 45-gallon. I believe DD Blanchard and Bracken's Brown Beauty. And the DD Blanchards are probably 12 to 14 foot tall. They're we've had those sizes before, but it's been a while.
But they're nice and full.
And we do anticipate there being a lot of demand for larger sizes of trees and shrubs, simply because, when you're replacing back in something that got severely damaged, patience may not be working with you. You may just decide, well, I want to deal with it. So we have really worked, Adam and through Julie Patterson, who is our green goddess of all things growing. She is the one who orders everything and does such a capable job. So we've really worked at trying to get all of those things in and get them in a variety of sizes that fits not only what your expectations for starting out, but also budgetary things. Well, we have smaller ones as well.
All sizes.
Sure.
I'm buying a little, now the name of it is slipping. It might be a Royal Star magnolia that we got in from Maple Valley.
Cool.
Where are they?
And you're
Really
gonna
neat
put that with
stuff.
the rest of the stuff you haven't planted yet.
I might go ahead and plant it.
Sure.
Probably not. but maybe. I already have a little pile that I'm buying today.
It's a solid maybe.
Spring fever's here.
No, that's for sure.
It is here.
Yeah.
And houseplants has been kind of chaotic in a good way.
yes.
A lot of people replacing all those houseplants.
Yeah.
Crazy, the damage
people,
just started to
when
show.
you lose power
For 10
for
days.
several days, and you got to choose between heating certain rooms. The humans, they take.
And the cats.
And the cats and the
And
dogs.
maybe the
all
cats.
The reptiles. Yeah, everything.
Maybe the cats.
Maybe.
The cat. They got fur. They got fur coats on. They'll be all right.
They're so cute, though.
But hey,
Josh looks concerned over there.
my cat sleeps on the heat vent. I mean, she all
Just
day.
right on top of it.
Right on top of it. So everybody else gets cold, but she's nice and toasty.
Does
She's
she
what
do that
matters.
also during the summer months when you're cooling?
I think she just discovered that warm air was blowing on her. So we'll figure out the cool air here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because-
Soon enough.
yeah. So, but anyhow,
But yeah, cats are cool.
they are.
So are questions.
We have 3 of them in the house right now because we are the
Cat sitting.
Not questions, but cats.
You
Yeah.
have 3
Cats.
questions in the house.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have 2. It
Mar
feels
Mar.
like 50.
Martin, the big tabby, Gigi the tuxedo, who my wife is allergic to, who loves my wife better than anybody in the house.
Of course.
So,
Yep.
she's a mess. She's fat too.
Well,
oh my gosh,
Fat
she's
cats are the
fat.
Cat
best.
knows who buys the cat food.
Well, she's the one that does the feeding, so she is obviously alpha.
That's why.
Yeah. So.
That's exactly why.
Anyhow, we do have questions.
We do have questions. We have a few. Let's start with an email that we got from Andrea. Andrea says, "Good morning. Is there a wise way to use lily of the valley, or is it just too invasive? Is it safe in a pot? Thanks for saving me a ton of work." I have it planted. I know it can be invasive, but I've never had isses with it really taking over.
I don't know that it's really that invasive in our soils here
Right.
in Middle Tennessee. Loamier, easier, soil, sandier soils, maybe it would be kind
would
of
take
invasive.
over.
But
I find that I've planted it in my house now 3 times, and every spot it stays for a few years, and it does spread a little bit, but then it just won't come back.
yeah,
One year.
that's what I've heard too.
Yeah.
I've never planted it, but I've just heard that it's kind of, when it does get into a spot, it can kind of take it over. Usually like some kind of like the swells, like the end of a valley or something where all the silt settles or whatever, it'll fill that up. But if most soils that we have around here are not like that. They're,
Yeah.
more,
So it shouldn't
more
be too
clay, denser soils. So
So it'd be a good
Other-
potted plant.
Other plants that are similar in invasiveness, like Imperator, the bloodgrass,
yeah,
were banned a few years ago. But that's really because they were very invasive in
like West
West
Tennessee.
Yes, where you have a very silty, sandy soil.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
Yeah.
have those kind of conditions, it can take over. So I don't look for any change on that ban to occur as a result of it really being a
True
you know,
invasive.
the Shelby County issue
Right.
and everyone along the Mississippi, but that's one that happened, I guess, more than a decade ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Well, it's very rare to find, but there is a native lily of the valley that looks very similar. It doesn't, its blooms are a little different. They don't hang down like the ones that you see that the leaves look kind of like this cast iron plant. We have never carried them here, but if you can find it, there is a native one. And hopefully it smells just as amazing. I don't know.
Don't know. Have never encountered it.
It looks like a little fairy plant. It's so cute.
Cool.
Really cool. Really cool stuff. All right, our next question, or should I say more of a comment, comes from Joyce. Good morning, Joyce.
Morning,
I got
Joyce.
to see you yesterday and you said, I don't know if I'm going to send this email. And I said, you probably should. So Joyce says, plant opinions. We all have them. I had to laugh when I listened to this week's podcast with Tyler's potential plant list for his frog pond redo. If you haven't listened to it, give it a listen. I'm with Tyler on the leatherleaf viburnum. It may not look like much right now, but it has great texture, semi-evergreen winter interest with purplish color and a good size for a smaller screen. Hardly hideous, Austin.
Well, he can't defend himself.
He
right
can't.
now,
That's why
so.
she sent it. Not every plant needs to be a flower power or a riot of color. I love that, riot of color. Can you imagine if every person were an Austin? OMG, we
No.
need some Tylers, Carolines, and Davids, and Adams, and Josh's too. I'm glad we do have one Austin, though.
Oh yes, of course, of course.
Well,
That's
if we
That is enough. That is
couldn't
enough.
function without Austin, but if we had more than one, it would
Oh.
destroy the whole thing. So
It would
Yes.
destroy the whole
Boy,
thing.
Adam.
It would be pretty crazy. It would be wild.
I haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast. Let's go back to this frog pond stuff. What frog pond?
I can fill you in if you want,
Oh, okay.
but I tell you what, the pond got filled in first.
Oh,
Mhm.
good answer.
There
Yeah.
you go.
It's like a boat
So
and a swimming pool.
just to really quickly recap, I've had a pre-installed like big pond planted
Mhm.
feature. I have a big prickly pear cactus planted next to it. There were a bunch of like rocks and boulders and stuff all around it. Big rocks, bigger than I expected, and so we've been wanting to redo that area. So I rented a jackhammer and busted it all up. It took me like 4 hours of jackhammering. And so we kind of have a blank slate now. We still have to haul off a few more rocks, but we're going to put a pond back in. We're just going to make it more simple, and also with some bigger plants that can kind of fill in, add privacy, and also shade the pond, which the pond was getting way too much sunlight, creating algae problems. So we're just trying to correct
Plus,
some.
the cranes can find it, come in there and eat your fish if you put in there.
It's strictly a
want that.
frog pond, no fish.
Frog pond. Oh,
They
Frog
can have
pond.
all the frogs they want,
It's
right?
it's habitat for Cope's gray tree frogs,
Huh.
which they're a really adorable frog species. And
yeah, we used to grow them on top of the cover of the pool.
yeah,
Every
they
year.
Yes.
they would naturally settle
Yes.
there.
And they would sing at night.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yell at you.
Yeah,
What color are the rocks you're taking out? Because I might have a home for those.
we have some bigger like limestone
Oh.
rocks.
Oh.
We did have some sandstone, but I think we got rid of most of that.
Oh.
But it's mostly limestone
Hmm.
and quartz.
But Tyler did give us some options that he was looking at
That's
for
right.
plants, and the leatherleaf viburnum was one of like
And
the
of
5 or
course,
6.
Austin didn't like it.
Immediately, Austin was like, "Hideous, Tyler. Why would you go with that?"
If you
So-
were in the room, you would see their face, their reactions to the things I was listing. Like I said, Hicks yew, leatherleaf viburnum, gray owl juniper, pugster white butterfly bush, windmill palm, and red banana, which add a tropical element, and
Okay.
fig. So, we're still like ranging across the board, but yeah, just the leatherleaf viburnum. I was so surprised because he talks about viburnum all the time.
But he
He
doesn't
has
like that one.
Strong opinion.
yeah,
He's
I know
a very
he does.
opinionated
Austin?
person.
But
No.
It's
you
a
just
good
never
thing.
know when you're gonna like get his wrath about something.
Uh-huh.
It's true.
Because
It's
you just
always a
mention
little
it,
shocking.
and then he's just like, "Yuck, ew."
That's true.
But go back and give this week's episode a
I gotta
listen
hear
if you want to hear all about it. But Debbie did comment on Facebook and say, "I agree with Austin on the leather leaf viburnum. Not a fan." And then she did a thumbs down emoji.
Oh,
I guess
Wow.
Debbie's fancy then.
Debbie's
Like
probably
fancy like
very
Austin.
fancy.
Now, one thing I will say, on the negative side of leatherleaf viburnums, they are, if you have to handle them,
They got
Miranda,
dust.
That was his thing, was the dust.
Yeah.
They are the most itchy things
Yes.
in the world. I mean, so I don't like that aspect of them. If you've got to get in there and trim them, if you've got sensitive skin, and who doesn't,
Right.
I would suggest strongly that you consider
Long
some-
sleeves. Yeah.
some other type of viburnum that's not so much that way, but leatherleaf is the worst with respect to
Yes.
that.
I was looking for evergreen potential or semi-evergreen potential.
Well, what I would
so
do,
Prague was another.
what
one
I
of
would do,
my
Tyler,
preferred
is
choices.
I like Prague viburnum better than leatherleaf. It's
That's what I
it's essentially a leatherleaf, but the leaf is smaller. It's a little, to me, it looks a little bit better. It's not quite, because the leatherleaf is that leaf is very coarse and very big, and I mean it can be,
Yeah, I wanted
know.
it as a textural element.
yeah.
I was
If
like,
you've
don't
got a
care
lot
about
of
the
room,
blooms.
That's all good. If you don't have to try to keep it in bounds or anything, and because it gets
Oh, they
quite
get big. They get very big.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm still running around options. Obviously, I've got a very broad range of things right now. I'm gonna narrow it down, and I want some smaller shrubs around too. To contrast against that bigger privacy backdrop. So your opinions are greatly valued in all this.
We'll be on this journey with you. Keep us updated.
Yes.
That's
we will.
right. We're taking you all with you.
Yeah. Buckle in, everybody.
I
Buckle
would
in
even
tight.
think winter tour viburnum, which is a very different look. It has a very slick leaf to it. They are very adept at, marginally wet conditions. So, that might be one to consider. Great fall color as well.
Thank you, David. I will look into that one.
Yes,
good.
check it out. Let's get one more question in real quick. What's the best conditions for sowing garden vegetables from seed?
Well, I would say we're kind of having them right now. Now it may still be,
A little early.
yeah. But I mean, if you're doing cool season stuff, you probably should have already sown it. But you can
yeah.
still put them out right now. I mean, you'll still get some lettuce and some,
Radishes.
Yep. Whatever you want to do as far as cool season. Now, warm season, it's still early.
Still a little bit
And the
early.
thing is, the soil temperature is probably not quite up enough
Mm-hmm.
for unless you've got a raised bed. Then maybe now it might be getting warm enough. But still,
But after this week, it may be
Yeah.
completely
yeah,
I got to get rid of the hen bit in mine because I've got a great crop of hen
oh,
bit.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
In my raised beds, I've got to get in there and clean them out and
Yep.
put some more supernatural in there, and so
If you were going to buy your supernatural, where would you find it? At all
Well,
the
you know
Earth
what?
Mix networks?
You can find Supernatural
Yeah.
at the most premium, the best garden centers all over.
Mhm.
And of course, we're talking about a product. It's a part of the Earth Mix family, and we're big proponents of Earth Mix garden products. And we think once you try it, you'll understand why. And on a cost per bag basis, it's definitely not the cheapest. But when you use Earth Mix Supernatural, like Adam just referred to, or any of the Earth Mix products. These are 100% organic, but more than that, they're very viable growing mediums. And because that they have all the great things that you find in soil that is highly productive, such as endo and ectomycorrhiza fungi, humic acid, those things combined with the best processing practices that can be developed create consistency in the Earth Mix products. And that's one of the things that many soil producers miss is that, you may buy a bag of material one time and the one you buy next really looks quite a bit different. And that won't be the case when you use Earth Mix garden products. Whether you buy it by a small homeowner size bag or a super sack, or even if you buy it in bulk, it's all exactly the same every time. And because of that thoroughness and attention to detail, you get very predictable results out of it. And those results are what are the difference makers when it comes to actually growing plants. You probably noticed, like everything else, plants are not getting cheaper. And all of these fine places that sell Earth Mix garden products all are premium sellers of plants. And if you're going to pay for good quality plants, it only makes sense to use the best soil that's going to give you the best results. So you can go to earthmix.net, and when you go to there, you can click on the Find Earth Mix tab, and there you'll see the map come up, shows all the locations
Wow.
predominantly across the southeastern and eastern U.S. We also are out in Crested Butte, Colorado. You can either select a pin from the many selections, like the Farmer's Basket of Murray, Kentucky, or you can go to the box up here and put your address in to find turn-by-turn directions to the location nearest you. And that'll help you to be able to figure out exactly what of the lineup that they carry and how you can most conveniently get that. And there's a new little banner that's been put up this week. If your local garden center does not carry Earth Mix products, this is the time you need to be hitting them up on this. Say, hey, this is something that I really want you to carry because I
I'll
want
buy
to be
it.
able to grow the best stuff. And this is when the primary shipping season in advance of the actual spring or the calendar spring needs to occur. So check it all out at earthmix.net. And we appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes to talk about Earth Mix garden products. the difference that they make in your gardening efforts. And Josh, there are things that you like to say associated with this, so have at it.
Well, first thing I'd like to say is that Earth Mix is not a growing medium, it is a growing maximum. And it takes
Oh.
4 things to have a happy garden:
Okay.
water, plants, sunshine, and Earth Mix. Maximum quality.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us a minute to talk about that
Yep,
and
yep,
to
yep.
help you in your gardening efforts.
Mhm.
And with that, we'll go back to questions that we have. And I'm sure, did we ever get to Adam's spot for Austin? Did we ever do
We
It
are
might be
at
about
that.
time.
It's out
We
there.
are at that spot right now.
What am I doing?
It's
What
the
am I-
heart.
It's a
Report.
surprise.
Well, first of all,
Oh,
It's
Tyler
all in
has
his head.
something.
we need to play.
Tyler.
Sorry.
What's up, gardening fan? Austin
Wow,
Chicken.
that's different.
Hope you're doing well. So
Well, that didn't work as I thought.
It's the heart report. It's all in his
We got a
head.
little voice memo, but
Mhm.
what's up, gardening?
I don't know what's
Austin.
going on.
we can listen to it slow. That's
It's
fun.
got intermittent
You've run
chops. There's
the
no way.
time.
There's no way Austin would be furious. Okay. What's in bloom with Adam?
Okay,
Hit the
thank
Adam Zone button.
you. There we go.
We're having
it
a
is.
great time
now,
today.
Now we're in the zone. Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's see. It's February 28th.
Yes, it is.
It's very warm for this time of year, kind
Mhm.
of. I mean, in Tennessee, you just, never know, really. So I would imagine that there's, at least in town, I'm sure there are some tulip magnolias that are already blooming. I'm sure you will start to see, if you haven't seen some already, some Akebono cherries. They're
Uh-huh.
usually the ones that bloom first. I would imagine I've already seen, probably already bloomed out, is the winter jasmine. It's already come and gone. You're going to see the witch hazel, or at least the ones here are in full bloom.
Yeah, mine's popping off.
I gotta
So,
check.
so yeah, you'll see those blooming right now. I would imagine that any day this week you'll start to see forsythia blooming, and maybe by the end of the week they might be in full bloom. I don't know. You're just gonna this week is really gonna, by the end of the week, if it's gonna be as warm as they say it's gonna be, you're gonna see a lot of those things blooming, and we'll see how well the tulip magnolias fare. Maybe they'll bloom for a few days, and we'll
It's
get
gonna rain Tuesday, so
yeah. So we'll see. But that's
Flower-
pretty.
Flowering quince.
Yeah, there's
Uh-huh.
going to be quince. Actually, we'll talk about quince a little bit later. Caroline will.
Sure will.
And yeah, so quince will start blooming. They usually bloom about the same time forsythia blooms, so you'll start to see those coming out. And really, you're just going to see a lot of buds, like really starting to form and.
Yeah, my lilac is
Oh yeah,
very
those
budded
are-
up.
Yeah, those
getting
are
ready to pop.
Yeah, so
mhm.
yeah, it's
I
And
can't
all
wait.
those indications are both a sense of jubilation as well as caution, because
Correct.
Many of us, Adam and I included, are forced to look at the calendar and go, this is still February.
Mhm.
Yep.
And it's all happening pretty quickly here. And, we have weather well into April. I've even seen it into May where it's
oh
So-
frost,
Oh
yeah,
gosh, yes.
frost.
so don't think that we're not going to have to deal. If one of the things people should be mindful of is if you've got things that you feel like you're going to need to cover, you need to have enough sheets and things to cover them with. Even though there's no sign of any of that right now, the signs will return, and it's a lot easier if you're already prepared to get those in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I have that it's not quite in full bloom, but it will be in the next few days. My pulmonaria
Oh, yeah.
is
There you go.
looking great.
Yeah.
Y'all, that is such a good shade-loving plant.
Mhm.
If you haven't grown that, I know some people have some issues with it, but I planted mine in the summer. It latched in, and it is going strong.
Nice.
Like
Awesome.
clean, beautiful, and those
Yeah.
blooms, like the pink and the purple blooms. Austin talks about his mother-in-law's a lot, so I was like, I got to try it.
He
if it's
probably
this
talks
good.
about his mother-in-law a lot anyway.
He probably does.
Yes,
Very
right.
nice lady.
Uh-huh.
But it is a really, really great plant, and mine is showing off right
Cool.
now in my little shade
Yeah.
bed.
There's also a sense of dread
Oh,
because this next week is going to be bringing the dreaded BPs. Yep.
yeah,
Uh-huh. Yep.
the Bradford
One
pears.
thing we can say with relative certainty that there are fewer of them standing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, well,
what I was
That's a
going to
good thing.
say is, this ice storm that we just had, I think most of the Bradford pears are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that would have been way worse. I mean, there's still some around,
There's a bunch of them.
but they're not near as
They're in the
not near-
hills.
they're not near as ubiquitous as they used to be. I will say,
No, they're no longer the national tree of Brentwood, as David used to say.
right?
Well, unfortunately, though, the ones that will survive are these hybrid
White.
spawns that
Yes.
are all over Williamson County and other areas
Mm-hmm.
where this commingling of the genetic pool between Bradford and I guess it would be
Naturalized
yeah,
varieties.
they've become naturalized
Yeah.
pyrus in the
Yeah.
landscape, and they produce seed in and of themselves. So that's a bad thing. It would be a really worthwhile endeavor for someone to take it upon themselves to
Start a
start
society.
patches. Yeah, well, some areas are so bad it would require clearing the
Clear
whole
cut.
hillside or much
Seriously.
of.
I mean, it's awful
So,
in
you
some
know-
of the lowlands that I travel all around. I mean, they've got whole entire fields
Yeah.
that are just taken over.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we call the calorie pear, right? Is that
Right.
kind of what we?
I
yeah.
have some of those on the back of my property
Oh, yeah.
that we are going to chainsaw down
Yeah.
this year. All right, let's get to some more questions. Are we
Some
ready?
grind them out, Caroline.
Yes.
'cause they'll sprout right back up.
They
if you
will.
Just,
Pour
Yep.
acid upon the soil.
We're going to destroy them. Don't worry. They're not too big yet.
Make a curse.
we discovered
bring in
them.
a priest.
Uh-huh.
And,
bring in a
yeah.
priest, all that stuff.
No holy water, because that'll only help them. So no.
Yeah, we don't want that. All right, anybody have night blooming garden recommendations for nocturnal pollinators, moonflower, etc.? I do. One of my favorite is Brugmansia. So angel trumpet, that one is a fantastic, I would say for here, probably the best nighttime
Night blooming,
blooming for your pollinators. It's going to open at night. The blooms are like that big. It's gorgeous. We put a picture up on the show not too long ago of Austin's mom's right before we got our first freeze in the fall. He got one for her, I think, for Mother's Day. They get massive. They're gorgeous. They are toxic. So be
Yes.
aware of that. Do not stick your face in it to smell the bloom because you might hallucinate in a not fun way. But that's a really good one. There's also night blooming jasmine. It's not perennial here. We do sell it as an annual a lot of the time, but that's one of the best smelling plants that is out there that you're going to smell.
incredible.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my sister in Florida, Fort Pierce, she has it around her yard, and it is amazing.
It's so good. Yeah, if you walk outside at night when they're blooming, you will be swept off your feet. Datura, which is similar to Brugmansia angel's trumpet, but the blooms are going to be upward turning. They face the heavens. So that's really pretty. And then all of your cacti. So night blooming cereus, a lot of the blue cactus, if you put them outside, they will open at night because they're pollinated by bats. So
You know,
Yeah.
and a common reference to each of those is that, and this is easily confusable. Not that it matters. It's just a common
it does
name.
matter.
When you refer to angel's trumpet, it's the ones that point down
Hmm.
from the heavens, so to speak. And then there's the devil's trumpet that points up from Hades. So
That's right.
I don't think either of those are reflective of
Reality.
No, I
Yes.
don't think they
Yeah.
mean anything. It's
Say that
just
with emphasis one more time, David.
Hades.
There you go.
Oh, so know that Datura will reseed and spread everywhere, though. And Brugmansia, especially the gold one, will perennialize here. But we don't have a long enough growing season for it to really, really bloom. So I usually just plant one each year. But those would be perfect. Night blooming gardens are the best.
Yep.
especially if you like to go for garden walks
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah.
Okay, what prep, fertilizer, etc., is needed for blueberry bushes and fig trees in containers?
Okay. Well, blueberries are acid loving, very acid loving. So we recommend Hollytone. Espoma's really good organic fertilizer, has sulfur in it. And then figs are not, they're really more like neutral soils. So just use Plant Tone, just kind of
It's another Espoma product.
yeah, it's another Espoma fertilizer that doesn't have the sulfur in it.
I'm surprised they don't have fig tone because they've got every
Well,
other tone
I
in
guess
the
you
planet.
could use tree tone.
Yeah.
You could, but that would be a misnomer around here because figs are not trees here; they're shrubs here. So, but either one, you just don't want to lower the pH really for figs. Really, right around neutral is good. So,
Wonderful.
There's that.
There it is. Sorry, I got distracted by a question.
Mhm.
But let's get to another one.
mhm.
This one's a good one. How to get rid of encroaching bamboo?
Move.
Flame,
Move.
flame,
Get out of there.
Flamethrower.
If it's coming from next door, good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good luck.
Call the HOA.
Yeah.
Put Karen on it.
Yeah, you it can be controlled in your lawn areas just by mowing because it can't go higher than what you're maintaining there. But what will happen eventually is it will keep sending the rhizomes further and further out, and then it will get into your beds. So
As far as when planting, if this is an issue that you have personally, if someone was considering planting bamboo and they really wanted it, but they did not want it to encroach into other areas, it really requires a concrete planter in the ground. I'm talking about trenching it out with a trencher to a depth of at least 3 feet, because it can go under at the 30-inch level, and pour that trench full of concrete and bring it up at least 6 inches above grade so that you can stop the runners as they attempt to jump over. If you do that, you can pretty well maintain them.
Maybe.
But if you don't do that, they're going to go where they will.
Go wild. All right, we've got a few live questions in. Amy asked David, did you say don't stump grind when removing Bradford pear? If I don't, can I plant a witch hazel close to the stumps?
Now you should stop.
Should.
grind.
They
Yeah.
will come back.
Absolutely.
It
I mean,
will come back.
They can, yes.
Ah.
But even at that, it'll deter them. And then, Adam, there are some pretty good herbicides that
Yep.
are
yeah,
contact that can be used for things such as poison ivy, and the name is escaping me right
yeah.
this
I don't
moment.
remember the there's brush,
Triclopyr.
brush killer. Yeah,
Triclopyr, thank you,
triclopyr.
Josh.
Mm-hmm.
That will, you can either brush it on the stump or
Take a
spray it
pump-up
on there
sprayer and just
Yeah.
spray it on the entire exposed
stump.
roots.
yeah.
Now, the bad side to that is that if you do that, you're not going to be able to plant anything
No.
around it for
Nope.
at least a
No,
year.
that'll kill the soil also in that localized
It's a
area.
soil sterilant.
It's a soil sterilant,
Yeah.
yeah, basically.
Tyler
Yeah.
looks scared over there.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
I would-
freaking out.
I would take a and drill holes into that stump area, and personally, I would probably use muriatic acid,
Hmm.
just a small amount. Get it
More
started.
readily available,
Yeah,
and
I
you
mean, it's
need
cheap.
to dilute it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's cheap, and you can take just a conventional bore bit with a battery-powered drill and
Mhm.
drill numerous holes.
Oh,
and
no, you got to
pour-
use a Forstner bit, David. With the flat bottom, so you can get it in there and it'll hold on real well. Mhm.
Anything is better than nothing.
Yes.
So,
Paddle bit, chainsaw.
Yep.
All the
Yep.
things. And then Bob says, good morning. 2 questions. I have numerous hostas in pots because of deer. Last year, they developed pinholes. I found some tiny caterpillars. I had some DE, diatomaceous, words are hard, diatomaceous earth, and used that. I don't want that to happen again. Suggestions needs to be pet friendly.
Just do the same thing. I mean, I guess you could try some of that Sluggo stuff, which it might be diatomaceous earth. I'm not sure what's in that
Sluggo
stuff.
smells.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't.
It does.
DE doesn't really though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just keep doing the same thing. I mean, I'm sure there's other harsher chemicals for sure that you could use, but
Yeah, I've often wondered what the difference between the diatomaceous earth that we sell and what is referred to as food grade
right.
diatomaceous.
I don't
So
know.
that would suggest that none of it is toxic if you ingest it.
Well,
Maybe it's
I think
milled to a finer degree. I
right.
don't know.
The mode of action for them is it cuts them up,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Yeah. So
Slices their little
Yeah.
undersides.
Pupil stage, as it were.
right.
Yeah. Sounds kind of sad and painful, but you
Yeah.
want your hostas looking good.
Correct. Yep.
Producer note: food grade diatomaceous earth is a natural, non-toxic powder made from fossilized freshwater algae.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Wowza.
Good to know. Thank you.
And then
Clay,
there is a
basically.
second question to this. When will you be getting in your miniature hostess?
Probably hosta.
Probably
Yeah.
hosta would be my guess.
Well, I would guess any day. I mean, here in the next couple of weeks, everything's going to be rolling in. So
Remember to tip your miniature hostess.
Yes,
And-
don't forget that.
And if you're calling in and want to talk to somebody or visiting, just talk to Bridget.
Yep.
Between she and Celeste,
Yep.
they got the thing going on down there. So if we don't have them the day you come out. It'll be any day now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it will. And where do you go?
I know where I go.
Where is Bridget located?
She's at 3810 Whites Creek Pike. It's
She
0.9
lives there.
miles north of Briley Parkway to exit 19. And it's also Bates Nursery and Garden Center. That's where I go.
Right.
Oh.
And you can be here and you can read all about it.
Yep.
Reading all about it happens in the weekly newsletter in the garden, now authored by Sarah Bates, and she's just doing a fabulous job of that. And it means a lot to me personally because she's my daughter, and also that I'm been relieved of the responsibility for doing that every week. And I'm at the stage of the career, Josh, where
What's next Friday, David Bates?
I'm trying to back it down a little bit. Well, I'll hit the big 7-0 on
Yep.
Friday, and while that
Oh, wow.
specific day doesn't, there's not a line of demarcation between youth and old age. It's a clue. So anyway, I need to utilize, and I'm very blessed to have this entire cast, of which several members are right here in studio with Adam and Caroline and Tyler. They all contribute greatly to the process, as well as all the other landscape professionals and others that we've already talked about. Julie Patterson, she really, if you like what you see when you come out here, it's because of what Julie does every day. And I don't think there's anyone in the country that does it better than Julie. She's an incredible talent, but it takes an entire interconnected staff to be able to keep it going here. And as much as we love plants, and we do, and we carry this extensive selection of the best quality things, no matter what your specific need is, we really pride ourselves on expertise. We have all these great horticulturalists, all these great plant people, and this is all we do. If you'll bring photographs on your smartphone or your tablet out with us of your particular landscape situation, we'll be glad to give it a look and help you to pick out the right plants for the right place the first time. And there's no singular plant that is the best for any one spot. And that's where we can really help you to narrow your choices down and say, well, you need to either pick this or pick that, and not have 20 things for you to choose from. The things that much of the information that we get from you is what do you not want to use? So that's a very important part of the equation as we go forward in helping you figure out what your particular landscape needs are. So we invite you to come out and see us. We're open from 9 until 2 o'clock today on Saturday, the 28th. We will be closed tomorrow on Sunday, March 1st. However, beginning next week, we resume our normal springtime schedule, and that is 9 to 4 Monday through Saturday and noon to 4 on Sunday. That is starts Monday, and we will be open on March 8th. So we invite you to come out and see us, take photographs of your area, make a sketch. There's nothing that at this point in time that is not going to inspire you more than, we've got great weather, we have great selection, we have expertise, and nobody else does it like Bates Nursery and Garden Center. Since 1932, when my grandmother started this endeavor, we've been working diligently at bringing the finest plants and expertise to your garden. So thank you for trusting us and for giving us that opportunity. By the way, we're conveniently located 1 mile north of Briley Parkway at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike, and that's just a mile north of that intersection. And we invite you to come out and see us. So no matter where you're driving from, be it Green Hills or downtown or Rivergate or anywhere around the area, it's worth the drive. So come see us. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932 for 94 years. Bates Nursery and Garden Center. So thank you for giving us a couple of minutes to talk about that, to help you with your gardening needs. If we don't have it now, we will.
They ain't got it.
We
You
will.
don't need it.
It will be here so soon.
Yep.
And speaking of being here,
What's in room with Caroline?
All these plants are
go.
here.
Yeah, they
wow,
are.
let's talk about them. So in the corners, we've got Feelin' Blue Deodar Cedar. So that one is a standard. It's on a little, basically a stick, and then it's going to weep down. So let me move my head.
Cool.
Really
Do
cool.
we have those in the
Cool.
ground cover version also that are right on the ground?
We have some of the gold ones.
That are,
Yeah, I've got one
Yeah.
of those at my house. It lost its gold because I planted it in too much shade.
Mm.
Womp womp, but it's still doing fine. And then next to it, we have another Feelin' Blue Deodar Cedar that is not a standard. Where is it? Can you see it?
lean the other way.
Yeah.
Cameras are confusing.
Uh-huh.
Full to the
Right
ground
there.
as opposed to being skinny
Full
leg.
to the ground. It's got a skirt all the way on the ground.
Yep.
I
love that
love
habit.
these. They are so gorgeous and stunning. And then we talked about this a little bit already, but we've got this double take scarlet flowering quince. Let me just grab this pot.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
heavy.
gosh, they're heavy.
Yeah.
I won't pour
There
water
it
all over my
is.
laptop. Wow. So, like we were talking about, these are probably just about to start popping off around town. I don't think they are quite yet. I was talking to Kinsey. Shout out to Kinsey, one of our landscape specialists.
Yay.
Very
Kinsey.
entertaining.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Great
He
guy.
knows all about irises, which I just learned. So
There you go.
if you want to come out and talk about irises, Kinsey is passionate. He grows so many different varieties all in pots. But he says his are just now starting to wake up.
Yep.
So we're about to
Yep.
see that show all around town
Yep.
and in Kentucky. So let's go ahead and move to what we have in front of us. We got a few different types of arborvitae on the floor. Boom, there it is. So in the corner, we've got Highlights arborvitae. So it's going to have a nice yellow, bright look to it, hence the name Highlights. Wow, it's like a highlighter went to town all over that arborvitae. And then in the middle, we've got Hetz Mini. Is that correct?
Hetz midget.
Midget.
They may have.
I think they changed the name.
may
Yeah,
have-
it says
Yeah,
mini.
they may have taken out the.
They
the
took
midget
that one out.
Word.
So it's just a little one. Does it stay that small? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, it's still
not,
going to get about 4x4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not going to eat your house. What was
the
that?
truth and reality of growth overrides marketing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
look at that detail
Sweet.
shot.
They're not quite as midget as they would have liked for it to be, but it does stay decidedly smaller than other globe type.
So they're at
arborvitae.
least troll height.
I would say leprechaun height.
Leprechaun height.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But look at them just all lined up right down there. And then we'll go ahead and move to what we have on the table. So on the table, I'm featuring stuff that you're going to see in your garden at least a little bit right now. So we've got Hypericum. This is St. John's wort. It's the ground cover. I grow this in the shade and in full hot all day sun, never gets a break. And it does great in both locations. So if you're looking for a ground cover that's going to compete with grass, this is a great one. It's not native, but it will bloom. It's got little yellow flowers that do attract pollinators. It says that it's deer resistant. I've never had issues with deer, but they will eat anything. But this is a very, very easy plant to grow, and it will spread over time and take over an area. So if that's what you want or need, this would be a great option for you.
Does it climb?
It doesn't climb.
Good.
Nope.
No, it doesn't.
Notice the use of the language resistant.
Yes.
Not proof.
Yeah.
Resistance is futile.
That's
Just ask
right.
Starfleet. Yeah.
But it's stunning. Mine is still up even after all the ice. Sometimes it gets a little burn in the winter, but it does stay up throughout the winter. And then next to that, we've got Moonshine Yarrow. This is blooming right now here. It is not blooming yet, but mine is peeking up in my beds. I can see it. It looks really clean, and it's about to just be spreading and taking over and looking stunning.
Yep.
I love yarrow. I have paprika, and that one
That was cool.
is cool. That one like mounds and just it's been clean all winter. It looks great. Didn't get damaged by the ice flying off my roof because it's planted right there. And then our next plant, our feature plant, we've got cast iron plants that we brought in. Celeste came up to me in the houseplant greenhouse and she was like, "Did you see the cast iron plants we got in? They look so good." And they do. So this is a great evergreen shade loving plant that you can add to your garden that's going to stay up. Look at how big those leaves are. It has a tropical look.
Yep.
Really easy to care for, like all these plants that I have talked about on the table. But there she goes. She's spinning. Come get you a cast iron plant. And they're pretty affordable too. $19.99 for this one. And it's pretty much
size.
filling out the pot.
Yeah.
Sometimes they come in with just a few leaves coming up, but these are
These are real nice. Yeah.
They're real nice.
Really nice.
Not busting out, but close to it. Look at this. Wow, this is a good shot where you can really see it. I look like I'm in a jungle. Wonderful. Thank you, Caroline. You're welcome. All right, let's keep going. We've got some more questions to get in. So Joyce says, "I have a tree guy coming later today. I was going to have him spread the chips from a hackberry and an elm in a wooded area to amend the soil. They are still pretty green. Is it a good idea or not?"
Wooded area.
Yeah, I mean,
Good a spot as any as far
yeah,
as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
I mean, I wouldn't put it in like a plant bed because as it decomposes, it's going to take oxygen from the top of the soil there, or nitrogen.
Right.
But yeah, put it in. Yeah, that's fine.
Just a wooded area.
Yeah, just
It'll keep some of the undergrowth down. Maybe
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
little
and,
bit.
and if
So-
you're putting it in a really established woodland area, and you're spreading it relatively
thin. Yeah, should be
it's not
okay.
it's not going to have that much effect. However, what you don't want to do is, pot it up, use it for mulch.
Nope.
And your shrub beds. You don't want to do that.
Nope.
Tyler made a great example a couple of weeks ago. He brought some in and he let it sit for like at least a year. And you would need to do that if you were going to use it as a compost material. And it requires being turned because, as Adam just mentioned, once it gets starved of air, its accessibility to nitrogen diminishes, and that process of nitrogen fixation is what steals the nutritional value from the soil if it's really green. So you've got to go through that process if you're going to use it around desirable plants and shrubs. If you just spread it thinly out in the woods, it's probably not even going to be noticed. It's just going to break down and not have very much effect at all.
Get out there, Joyce, and do it. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. She takes care of all the properties around her.
Hey, real quick, did we answer Amy about can she plant her witch hazel close to the Bradford Pear stumps if she doesn't take them out? Sure, you can.
I mean, you're still going to have difficulty getting really close because of the root system that's still in the ground, but certainly as close as you can get a hole big enough to put the root ball in, yeah, you're fine. I mean,
And that is providing that you don't use
Do
something
not.
like
Yeah.
Phycopeer. in
correct.
there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. you
Or
don't
the
wanna-
muriatic acid, or
Yeah.
leaving the stump grindings on the ground.
Yeah.
So,
right.
All right. Top favorite native pollinator plants. This is a great question. There's so many out there. I would say milkweed. That's going to be number one for me.
Yeah.
Monarchs are going to fly to
Yep.
it. They love it. Goldenrod.
Goldenrod's
That's a good one.
mhm.
Asters
Yep.
and Rudbeckia. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, the
Austin's
native
not
one.
here to say no. The
Right.
Maxima is the really tall one. I mean, those bloom spikes are what, like 7 foot?
Yes.
It's
that one's really
amazing.
cool.
And the little finches will fly to it, and it looks like they're going for a little carnival ride. So those are some great sun-loving ones. Now, if you're wanting anything in the shade, lobelia, I have that growing by my creekside. It's a nice little woodland plant. We do sell that here. They like kind of moister areas. So if you've got a shaded area that stays moist, not wet, it would be really happy there. And then Indian pinks, that's a good one as well.
I actually just planted one of those last year.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm
really
excited
cool. It
to see
bloomed
mine
forever.
wake up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I planted mine when it was really hot, so
Yeah,
it
that was
suffered.
one I was going to say was the Indian pinks because that's a really cool. Actually, the house that we used to live in, which was Rachel's dad's house, it was just in the woods behind the house. It was just growing there, just
Yeah.
natively. Yeah,
That's
it was
so
really
pretty.
cool.
And then
Yeah.
blue moon phlox.
There
That's
you
a
go,
good one.
yeah.
A good little
Yeah.
shady ground cover that
Yeah.
smells. It's like the sweetest little smell.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
yeah.
And
that's a
mine
good
is
one, too.
mine is up. Not blooming, but it's
Coming up.
already coming
Yeah.
up and kind of spreading out a little bit. But come out, talk to Bridget. I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
knows all about natives. And like David has already mentioned, we're about to be full. We have a lot in right now, but y'all, those trucks are going to be rolling in and it's going to be filling
Yeah.
up fast.
I can hear them. I can hear them.
You can hear 'em right
my,
now.
in my ears.
You probably
the
dream
rolling
about 'em.
thunder.
Yeah,
Yeah, you wake up and you're like, Adam to
They're
everyone, we got a truck rolling into the lot. Anyone
Well,
available?
or-
All hands on deck.
The question that Adam and I normally think about is how many will be sitting outside the gate this morning?
correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
We're rapidly approaching that time of year where
Yes.
there can be 3 or sometimes 4.
You have a pool?
And
We
It's-
don't bet on it. No,
You don't bet?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
It's for entertainment only then.
Correct.
Okay.
It would
Correct.
get out of hand.
that and rolling dice with Pedro.
Yeah, yeah, in the office. Yeah,
I think he's got loaded dice because he wins that way too much.
He's just so lucky. Shout out to Pedro.
yeah, yeah.
I don't think we've done a Pedro
No,
shout out.
well, he's been here 25 years now.
Yeah.
This year, actually, 25 years ago is when he started.
Really?
Yeah.
We need to throw him a little party. Pedro party.
Pedro party.
Pedro party. Pizza
He
party.
would be all
Fiesta del
about that.
Pedro.
Pizza Pedro party. Let's do it. And let's get to another question. How much sun does oak leaf hydrangeas want here? Does Ruby Slipper handle full sun?
Handle, yes, but I wouldn't do it. I would say dappled shade, maybe morning sun, full sun. They can grow in full sun, but in the summertime, you'll start to see some scorching.
Yeah.
So it's not what we would recommend, but it's your yard.
It
So,
can do it. I have some planted. They get direct sunlight probably until like 1 or 2. And
Yeah.
starting in July, they start to burn a little bit.
Yep.
So, but they still look
Sure,
great. I
sure.
mean,
yeah.
Even the full sun lover hydrangea, other cultivars, like Annabelle,
Panicles, the
Annabelles.
panicles. Yeah.
they'll do great in the sun, but even they start to show the wear and tear of sunshine after they have gone through the summer. Oak leaf hydrangeas are kind of bulletproof, but they're also get pretty big. So
Yeah.
they're not so different in many
Well,
ways.
the Ruby Slippers is actually a pretty small one. Actually,
Yeah.
I think it's like about 5 by 5, which is
and
pretty
the
small.
leaves are so tiny.
Yeah, and
I had
they
never
grow
noticed
close
that till
together.
recently.
Yeah, yeah. If I was going to grow one, it would be that one, just because I don't have room for like a Snow Queen or something that gets like 10 by 10.
Yeah. They can get big. I have
Yeah.
a snow sickle. I talk about it every
Okay,
year.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Its bloom is unlike any other oak leaf hydrangea bloom.
Yeah.
It-
It's pretty unique. Yeah.
Drapes down.
Yeah.
And
spills over.
of the Annabelles that I just mentioned, I've got like 10 of them planted in a triangle planting area, and we cut them back essentially to the ground
Mhm.
every year.
Wow.
I mean, you want to cut them short because they're really bad to flop otherwise.
Yep.
And there are some newer cultivars that are less susceptible to that, but Annabelle I still like. It's a very tried and true, but don't just cut it like halfway back. Cut it back, to 6 inches. If you
Mhm.
if you can get whoever's cutting them back to do that, it looks like you're butchering them. You are not. They'll be flushing out if not.
Yeah.
So-
You're actually doing yourself a favor because
Yeah.
if you don't, they're going to bloom and they're going to flop over because the stems are too tall to support the huge white blooms that they get.
And then Austin's going to come to your house and be mad about it.
Yes,
He
you
will.
Yeah. He'll have a
Because
lot to
they're
say.
weeping- because they're weeping and looking down. He likes
Yes.
them to look up at him.
He'll come prune them off. He'll come cut them. And then we got an email in from Bryce. So Bryce says, this fall I purchased a sassafras tree and recently I was gifted an inkberry holly. Both are, I might butcher this word, dioecious?
It just means they're
How do you say it though? Was I saying it right? So I was close. Plants.
Dahlia
How do
bush.
I know if I have a boy or girl, and how do I find them a mate to create baby berries?
Well, you pretty much have to be almost a specialist in, like a horticultural specialist in hollies or in
Sassafras.
native trees, you
Uh-huh.
know. But yeah, you have to look at the blooms. You know, generally with hollies, with male hollies, they tend to grow a little faster and get a little bit bigger. I've noticed that with the China girl, China boys.
And that reason is because they are not spending energy on fruit.
Correct. And they will actually have more blooms. The males will have more blooms on them than the
And
females.
they do look a little different than the female blooms.
Yep.
So, you know,
Yep.
but those are pretty subtle, nuanced things. The one thing it's almost certain is even if you have just one holly of whatever type it is that's dioecious in nature, there's almost somebody nearby that's got a pollinator for it.
Yep.
So if you
Yeah.
have a holly that has no berries on it, it's almost certainly a male.
Right.
And if it has berries on it, it is certainly a female.
So it
So-
takes a year to figure it out.
It
You,
could.
you got to go through the pollination process.
Right. The
Yeah.
whole cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And many of those are now planted with a male pollinator in with them. So if you
Oh.
buy like
Smart.
a blue
Yes.
boy, blue girl holly or something like
Yep.
that, there are blue girl holly that has a small blue boy in there. So you're going to get a pollinator with it
Mhm.
if you buy something like that.
Yep.
Very
Well, and
good.
I would imagine with the sassafras, those are everywhere around here too. So
Got to think.
you know, if you've
Look
got
at
a
the
female, it's going to have, you know, fruit. So
Are they edible? The sassafras?
I don't know for sure. I know
Okay.
that the bark and the roots are used for certain things, but
Yeah, they make teas and
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but I don't know about the fruit.
Interesting.
Well, we burned another hour.
Did we?
I think so.
Oh my
We
goodness.
did.
Went
You're-
by so fast.
The last Gardening Inside Out show.
And
your
in your
60s.
60s.
David Jones.
In my 60s.
Oh,
Okay.
I will be noticeably older.
Yes,
this
you
time
will.
next week. So
Yeah.
you know, thank you for all taking notice of that.
Yep.
And
We'll remind you next week too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I'll have big shaggy eyebrows and you know
Pull my
Yeah.
finger.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I'll sound like Andy Rooney. And,
We
anyway,
met one time. That's a story for another
I
day.
did get to meet. Couldn't talk him into going on the air with us, Josh. I
Yeah.
really gave it my best, but
Hmm.
he was very gracious but definitive in his no. So anyway,
All righty. Hey, folks, next week we will be back here to celebrate David joining the septuagenarians in the
Mhm.
world.
Yep.
But he would remind you to like, subscribe, share, tell everybody about us and on the socials and around.
Yep.
Watch for the podcast during the week because it's amazing. I got to go back and look at it this week, find out about frog ponds.
Mhm.
But hey, Adam, thanks for sitting in for
Yes,
Austin.
sir. Yeah.
And hey, we'll see y'all next Saturday morning right here from the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. See you then.